Hare Krishna, and welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita session. Um, we are doing a Bhagavad Gita systematic study course under which we are doing a deep dive. We are going in detail, verse by verse, to the extent possible, and we'll try and cover all important verses and all important sections of during our study. So this will be a prolonged study. We earlier tried doing 18 sessions in 18 chapters in 18 sessions. Those were helpful because they on in a very short span they can give you a quick overview of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. But it's difficult to continue if one is difficult to remember all that whatever we have learned in 18 sessions, and difficult to act on it as well, because the teachings get repeated, and when they are emphasized again and again during over a longer period, then they get registered in our mind, and then we start acting on it. uh, so that has its own purpose, and the systematic study course serves another purpose. So this is always good to go deep into the discussions on Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada has mercifully written so beautiful purports. And this deep detailed study will give us an opportunity to study those purports in more with by spending more time on those, and that way understanding Bhagavad Gita more properly. So today's topic for today's session is Sri Bhagavana Uvacha. Uh, we'll be we'll be we'll be diving into chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna is going to speak the first verse where he is referred to as Bhagavan. So Sri Bhagavana Uvacha, we'll look at a couple of verses, 2 3 verses from chapter 2. Before that, let's remind ourselves why we are learning Bhagavad Gita. We are learning Bhagavad Gita for devotional transformation. We have our own material life, which can be comfortable, which can have its own challenges, but by and large, it can be comfortable. And but we want to understand: is there more to life? Is there more to life than just growing up, doing our studies, getting married, producing children, being nice to people around us, and getting old, getting disease, and dying? And during the lifetime, we build home, we decorate our homes, we buy our dream car, uh, and we work so hard on our dreams, and end of it we just leave it all behind and just walk away. Is there a purpose? Is there a higher purpose to life than doing just these things? And for that, we want to have a spiritual disposition, and that we get from Bhagavad Gita study. So Bhagavad Gita will open up the second chapter that we'll start discussing today is called Summary of Bhagavad Gita. It's a Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. The second chapter contains everything whatever Bhagavad Gita has can provide us over 18 chapters in a summary form is provided in chapter 2, and this is one of the longest chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada has written purports in such a beautiful way that you study any verse of Bhagavad Gita, you will get the ultimate purpose of Bhagavad Gita. And we will come to that when we'll see some of the purports today. Uh, so, learn Bhagavad Gita for devotional transformation. Why we have to remind ourselves? So that we can be open to this idea that we have to transform. It's not just meant for academic scholarship. It's not just meant for impressing somebody that I know Bhagavad Gita, or it's not just getting some commercial benefit, some benefit out of it. Some benefits will be available. A lot of benefits will be available, but ultimate benefit can also be available if we are able to apply ourselves to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. This is where it's all happening. The battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is giving direction to Krishna that take my chariot in between two armies, and I want to see everyone from equal distance. So Prabhupada writes in in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita that Bhagavad Gita. These are words by spoken by Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is referred to through in this entire Bhagavad Gita as Bhagavan Uvacha. He is Bhagavan for because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he can be understood only when we receive his mercy. We can only we can understand him only to the extent he want us to understand him. It's like a king or a prime minister of India. His details will be available to the public, common public, only to the extent he wish to disclose. What's happening behind camera or what's happening in his private time is not known to anyone. So we can know more about such famous personalities only by their mercy. If he allow us to stay with him in his house, in his so that in his home, prime ministerial residence, then we will get to see things which other people are not able to see. So when the camera gets switched off, from then onwards, what happens, how he speaks, how whom he meets, how he relaxes, how he take rest, how he eats, where he eats, what he eats, when he sleeps, how much he sleeps, what type of clothes he wants to wear, how much when he perform puja, when he keep fast, everything we will come to know if we happen to be in the living in the same house where he is, and we can live in his house only by his permission. We need his mercy. So for any great personalities, we can know more about them if we get their mercy. Krishna being no different. Krishna is the greatest personality ever. In and the and we can know Krishna only when he want us to know, only to the extent he allow us to know. Other and more the mercy, more the knowledge about Krishna can become available to us. So for us to become to receive his mercy, we cannot be in the challenging mood towards Krishna. We have to have humble, submissive attitude towards Krishna. At least Prabhupada write in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita section that at least theoretically we should accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, and then read Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita will remain a great mystery. Nobody will nobody will be able to make any sense out of Bhagavad Gita. They may get a few drops of knowledge here and there, but by and large, they will not understand Bhagavad Gita unless they have mercy received from Krishna. And Krishna's mercy is available to us through his devotees. He has given that mercy to his devotee, and he passes it on to his devotees, and thereby, in the disciplic succession, this mercy flows down from our previous acharyas to our current acharyas, and from current acharyas to our senior devotees, from our senior devotees to us, and we can also pass it on to others. We can share it with others. It's meant for all humanity, everyone, all living entities, but especially humanity, who has capacity to distinguish, who has capacity to comprehend, who has capacity to understand spiritual knowledge. So therefore we should we should make an attempt, a wholehearted sincere attempt to understand Bhagavad Gita in this lifetime, and this is our opportunity, and we should make most out of it. So as we see, Dhritarashtra inquires with Sanjaya. We saw that in the couple of previous sessions, how he began the inquiry. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Kurvanta Sanjaya. This is the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. We studied it on 29th, and that's how the Bhagavad Gita started. Bhagavad Gita started, then Duryodhan starts speaking. Duryodhan's diplomacy comes, his how he's expertly trying to motivate his warriors, especially Dronacharya, and without hurting Bhishmacharya's sentiment, he's trying to tell him that you have to fight very hard to defeat these Pandavas. And even though they have a lot of soldiers, we can defeat them because we have you. And Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya and Kripacharya and Karna, and then gives a big list of all the warriors on his side, and to feel confident that he's not going to lose this battle, he's going to win this battle. So that's what Duryodhana's diplomacy we saw. However, um, we learn that if you're not on Krishna's side, if Krishna is not on your side, if you are not on Krishna's side, no matter how much skills you might have, no matter how much talent you have, no matter how attractive you might be, uh, how much diplomat you could be, how much intelligent you could be, you cannot be successful. Success will go only in the direction where Krishna is, on the side, to the side where Krishna belongs to. So wherever Krishna is, success is going to go there. So we should check every action when we perform in our real life. Is this in line with the instructions of Bhagavad Gita? Or is this, am I acting in contrary to the instructions of Bhagavad Gita? And if we are not on the side of Bhagavad Gita, we should correct ourselves. If we are on the, if we remain too much on the other side of Bhagavad Gita, we will never be successful by doing those actions. So, and that's for, so this is what we learn out of this. Then hearing Duryodhana speak, instead of responding verbally, Bhishmacharya, who is the eldest, on the eldest guru on the battlefield, pull out his conch shell and blow it uh, very, very loudly. And then hearing his sound, everyone pulled out their conch shells and started blowing their respective conch shells. And then we see a list of conch shells names. Each conch shell had a name, and they're associated with different warriors who blew their respective conch shells. And that sound, collective sound, shattered the hearts of Duryodhana and his brothers. So that's how the war was about to start. The first arrow was about to get shot, and that's when Arjuna, uh, inspired by Krishna from within his heart, requests Krishna to take chariot in between two armies, because he wanted to see everyone from equal distance for one last time before the war were to start. Supreme Master is present, Supreme Personality of Godhead is present on the battlefield as a chariot driver, is doing menial service to his for his devotee. Prabhupada writes in the purport, Lord is always eager to serve his devotees, and devotees are always eager to serve their Lord. And this sweet competition is always going on between the two. This is love. This is love between Lord and his devotee. These are loving exchanges between Lord and his devotees. And these exchanges, Prabhupada writes, are very sweet, very sweet. So that's how Krishna, without having given up his own position as Supreme Personality of Godhead, having accepted a menial service like chariot driver, immediately carries out the order given by his charioteer, that is Arjuna, his devotee. Prabhupada writes, he gets Krishna, Lord gets great pleasure in giving his devotee a superior position and accepting an inferior position, comparison with him, and he gets great joy while doing so. So, and Krishna happily drove chariot in between two armies. But Krishna is Krishna. Krishna, even if he is a baby, he was a baby, he was still Krishna. And even when he's carrying out duties of a chariot driver, he is Krishna. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He cannot change. He will always remain like that. So when he had a choice where to stop, and he went and stopped in front of Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya, not Duryodhana and Dushasan. And seeing those most beloved personalities standing in front of him, Arjuna melted and started crying. Krishna also often tests his devotees, their determination, their devotion, and those tests may always not be very easy. Srila Prabhupada, wanted to carry out order of his spiritual master. His spiritual master told him that you speak very good English, so you should go to the Western world and preach Krishna consciousness, cult of this whole philosophy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna consciousness, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Chatamrit. You should preach in the Western world. And this instruction Prabhupada received in 1922. But until the he for the first time he could go out of India was in 1965 when he got a free ticket, free return ticket on a container ship of for going to America for the first time. So so it took him so long. It took him from where he received instruction in 1922 when he was young. He had a family and he actually started his voyage for America in the year 1965 when he was 70-year old, 69, 70-year old. So uh, Krishna took his test. The journey was not easy. Even though he had a pure desire to spread Krishna consciousness in the Western world, he had to struggle for so long. And the first opportunity was also not very pleasant because he knew nobody in America. He had no money. Only asset that he was carrying was Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, translated in English, and one book of Chaitanya Chatamrut. Apart from that, he had nothing. He knew nobody there. For 1 year, he struggled in New York. He lived in a very not so clean place with not so clean people. He was practically living with hippies who would day in day out, day and night, who would go high on by taking drugs, consuming drugs, who would perform all kind of crimes, who were unclean to the core. They would not take bath. They would break all regulatory principles. They would have sex with freely with everyone, whoever is available. So very living very animalistic kind of a lifestyle. And Prabhupada was saintly person, a sannyasi from Vrindavan was living amongst them. And so it was a huge austerity. And eventually, 1966 onwards, Prabhupada started seeing success. So if Prabhupada, despite of having a pure desire to serve Krishna, to spread his message, to spread, make other people devotees, but when Krishna took test, Prabhupada appeared for that test and came out successfully. Never, Prabhupada writes in his autobiography, Lilamrut, that never was there a time when I doubted Krishna. Never was there a time when I was at times confused how to serve Krishna, but I was never discouraged whether to serve Krishna or not to serve Krishna. That question never crossed my mind. And that for that he thanked his father. For that he thanked his Guru Maharaj. For that he thanked Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who he gave all credit to them, saying that because of their mercy, because they were always with me, because I was never alone. Even though I was alone, I was never alone. And eventually, devotees started coming. New York's temple got registered, established and registered. The ISKCON Foundation got registered. Eventually, the second temple in San Francisco came up, and then the explosion happened. We got so many devotees, so many temples, and Prabhupada kept traveling all around the world. 14, 15 times went all over the world, and opened temples all over the world. He had more than 100 temples, more than 5,000 initiated devotees. And so the test that Krishna would take can be difficult, but a pure devotee never fail in those days because of he's always fixed in bhakti, always choose to perform devotional service to Krishna over all other available options. And that is success of their devotion. So if we have to become a devotee of Lord Krishna, we should also be prepared to give tests. Of course, Krishna will give easy tests to us because of our devotion is small. He will accordingly give tests to us. Not that what we cannot handle, he will not give. But when the situations will demand, we should be able to choose devotional service over all other available options wherever whatever how much no matter how attractive those options might be. We continue with the recap of chapter 1. Arjuna realizes now he will have to kill these loved ones and win the war is impossible without actually killing these people. And he became overcome by compassion. The anger disappeared. and suddenly he's surrounded by various doubts, fears, and confusion. Gives many reasons to Krishna why he consider fighting this war is wrong. He came here to fight, and suddenly he's saying fighting war itself is wrong. We are doing something terrible. Doing something terribly wrong. It's like going into a World Cup final, and then the bowler is saying to his captain that I don't want to fight, I don't want to ball, I don't want to even win this match. I want to speak about so we should just walk away. That kind of a situation came upon him. And what did he do? He kept aside his famous gandiva bow, and unable to stand on his feet, he sat down in the chariot crying. That's where we concluded a previous session. We'll continue with the chanting of the verses. I will repeat, and you all need to follow me. uh, get yourself unmuted. Everyone try to chant. Everyone try to chant at least, because we are going to speak Krishna's words now. It's important we repeat these words ourselves, and to get to the understanding of these, touch the meaning of these important words. And it's not very difficult. Those who are familiar with Sanskrit or Hindi, Devanagari, they can read this, and those who are not familiar, they can read English but pronounce Sanskrit. It's not very difficult. And everyone, please unmute and try to chant. Follow me. I will speak these words slowly so that you get ample opportunity. You can catch up with the chanting, and we will try this and see how it works. My desire is for everyone to chant. I can ask you to stay muted and chant, but I will not get to hear that. I will not get to know actually whether you chanted or not. So let's give it a try. If this becomes too chaotic and everyone feels we should not do this, we can probably switch to I will chant and then we can proceed. But let's do this. And I will chant, and then you need to follow. You can follow either Devanagari script or English, and we will go through the rest of the verse later. Bhagavad Gita 2.1. Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjay
Jaya
Uvacha
Vacha
Tam Tatha Krupaya Vishtam
Tam
Tam
Tatha
Tada
Kripaya
Kripaya
Vishtam
Vishtam
Tam Tatha Krupaya Vishtam
Tam
Tata
Tatha
Kripaya
Kripaya
Vishtam
Ashru Purna Kulekshanam
Ashru
Ashru
Purna
Purna Kulekshanam
Ashru Purna Kulekshanam
Ashru Purna
Kulekshanam
Vishidantam idam vakyam
Vishidantam
Tantamidam Vakyam
Vishidantam idam vakyam
Vishidantam Idam
Tantamidam
Vakyam
Uvacha Madhusudanaha
Vacha Madhusudana
Vacha
Uvacha Madhusudanaha.
Vacha
Madhusudana
Madhusudana
Yeah. Thank you so much. You can all go on mute. Sanjay said, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. Prabhupada writes the purport: material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all sign of ignorance of the real self. Prabhupada, this words basically describes Arjuna's condition, miserable condition. Arjuna, we have to remember Arjuna is a Kshatriya. Arjuna is the most powerful warrior, the most champion warrior of his time. And he had defeated single-handedly the entire Kuru army. He had defeated Lord Shiva in his battle and won Pashupatri Astra from him. And so there was no match for his skills in archery and in his parakram. But he had overcome by compassion. So Prabhupada writes that material compassion, lamentation, and tears. This is what was visible in Arjuna at that point of time. They are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self-realization. Prabhupada is saying your compassion was Arjuna's compassion for the bodies, not for the eternal soul. You should be compassionate for the eternal soul, and that is called self realization. The word Madhusudana is a significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. Again, significant. Discharge of duty is crucial, and that should be done. And Arjuna had two type of duties in front of him. Kshatriya, as a kshatriya, he should have fought, and as a kula dharma, he should have protected his family members, and therefore he was caught up in the battle within his mind, not to know which one is superior. So we should always remember that all duties, amongst all duties, there will always be superior and inferior duties. Some duties will always be superior, and others can be subordinate to those duties. And what is the highest duty? The highest duty is serving Krishna. Devotional service to Krishna is highest duty. And Srimad Bhagavatam contains examples of devotees who gave priority to the devotional service over their other worldly duties. Example, Vedas teaches that a son should be obedient to his father. But when father was like a demon, like Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad actually started preaching his father. Instead of listening, he started teaching his father. So so the Bhagavatam uh, contains case laws, case studies of so many wonderful devotees who have reversed this order, who have reversed the normal order given by the Vedic teachings. The son teaching to his father, a son teaching to his mother, Kapil Dev and Devahuti. The son, she becomes his disciple. Actually, instead of she giving teaching to her son, she becomes disciple. She accepts her son as guru. And there are so many wonderful examples where the normal social order gets devotees don't care for those, and when it comes to the serving Krishna, they give that the topmost priority. So the discharge of that is save punso paro dharma adhar bhakti adhokshache. Bhakti to adhokshaja is considered to be the highest duty for all the living entities, especially humans. So Arjuna is confused, and Arjuna wanted Krishna to save him from this confusion. No one knows where compassion should be applied. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. So, what Prabhupada is saying here is Arjuna wanted to save everyone who had assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But Prabhupada is saying that this is senseless. Why? Why this is senseless? Prabhupada is saying something that compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. Can somebody explain this? Somebody can raise hand if you want to explain this particular point. What is dress? What is it that Prabhupada is s- suggesting here? A drowning man and dress. Madhu, Manjari Devidasi, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, over here, Prabhupada is mentioning dress for the body, dress as in the body, and the living entity which is inside that dress is the soul that he means. So we should save the soul when we are in this material contamination. Trying to save the dress means we are just trying to save the body
Okay.
that way.
Lakshmi Mataji, thank you so much, Mataji. Lakshmi Mataji, can you relate this with the battlefield? Battlefield where Bhishma, Drona were present. And how can you bring relate
भीष्म,
this with us?
द्रोणा जो भी दिख रही है सामने, जो दिख रहे हैं वो खाली शरीर है। उनके अंदर जो आत्मा है वो शाश्वत है। शरीर चले जाने से भी आत्मा रहेगी करके।
Okay, so the compassion for body, Prabhupada is saying, is senseless. So we should be compassionate for the soul. आत्मा के लिए compassion होना चाहिए था. So that's the point Prabhupada was making. Thank you so much, Mataji. Um, so Prabhupada give example that if somebody falls in ocean, आप उसके कपड़े नहीं बचाएंगे, आप उसको बचाने की कोशिश करेंगे. So similarly, if somebody is falling into the ocean of nescience, we cannot, he will not be saved by just saving his body. We should be saving his soul, save our soul. Soul is first of all, to save the soul, one should understand there exists a soul inside everyone's body. And the second chapter will reveal knowledge about the soul eventually. So Prabhupada is giving us a preview of what to expect in the rest of the chapter right in the first verse itself. Prabhupada writes further in the purport that one who does not know this and lament for outward dress is called a Kshudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya and his conduct was not expected from him. So, Prabhupada is saying that one should apply compassion at right place. Compassion for dress is senseless. Compassion should be for the person. And in the context of a war, Prabhupada is saying that compassion for the soul is more important. And if killing of the body, the death will come to people anyway. People just don't die when you kill others. People will die anyway. When people death is there going to come, that will come anyway and anyhow. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that kalos me. I'm Kal. I'm going to be the death. I have already killed these people. So you are as a kshatriya, when you perform your duty as a kshatriya and you kill these people, you become glorious. You get kirti. These people are already been killed by my arrangement because I am the authority to kill. I have the authority to kill, and I, as a time, have already killed all of those people. Therefore, as a Kshatriya, you fight and you become Nimitta Matra Bhavasavya Sachi. Become a Nimitta Matra, become glory. You will get glory. You will get glory for winning this war single handedly. So, that I want to see that happen. I want my devotees to become glorious. So, this is the mood that Prabhupada is setting before the beginning right at the beginning of this chapter. Prabhupada write further that Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of the ignorant man, and for this purpose the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. Ignorant man, all of us are ignorant because we think we are bodies. All of us actually think we think and act thinking as if we are our bodies. And when we go to office, when we go to school, when we go to college, when we go to market, when we go for movies, when we go for parties, when we don't go there as our spirit souls, we go there as bodies. A large part of our life we are actually thinking ourselves to be our bodies and not our soul. When we click a selfie, when we click a post our pictures on social media, we don't say that I'm soul up, I'm currently having this male female body which is aged about so and wearing so and so color dress today, we visited so and so place and I'm clicking and posting a picture of that. We think we are looking good. Who is looking good? We think ourselves as a body. Therefore, we think we're looking good today. We are looking bad today. We are feeling sad today. We are feeling happy today. We are feeling sick today, and we are feeling very healthy and energetic today. All of this is we are functioning at a level of body, thinking of ourselves to be the body, not as the soul. So uh, this is ignorant. Prabhupada says this is the ignorant man. This is an example of an ignorant man. And study of Bhagavad Gita, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita was to uh, dissipate lamentation of that ignorant man, because this ignorant man will always have lamentation. The moment you are happy, the next moment you will be sad because something wrong will happen with the body. I have switched on AC for now. After some time, it will become too cold. Again, I'll become uncomfortable. And then I'll have to switch off AC. Then again, I will become very suffocated. I'll feel very suffocated because the room is closed, AC is gone. I'll have to again switch on AC. So this world is an arrangement where you will always have discomfort. You will always be in discomfort, and no matter how many great arrangements you make, the discomfort is going to come upon you. And therefore, Krishna says, this is the lamentation. It's a matter of time when you will lament. It's not if you will lament. The difference is, it's a matter of time when. It's only a question when you will lament. It's not a question if you will lament. Lamentation is going to come to everyone, no matter how great arrangements you make for yourself. You will lament, and there is no question about it, because as long as one is in the ocean, they will get wet. Similarly, as long as you're present in this material world, the lamentation will come upon you. So we need Bhagavad Gita. We need Bhagavad Gita, we need Lord Krishna more than he needs us. And therefore, we should take up to the study of Bhagavad Gita with great sincerity. This chapter, Prabhupada writes further, this chapter instructs us in self-realization by analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the supreme authority, Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada giving us the trailer, showing us the trailer or preview of what to expect. We'll see the analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul. So first of all, compassion, to show compassion for the soul, Atma, one should understand with conviction that actually somebody is Atma. Somebody has Atma within them. Somebody is not just a bundle of chemicals. Somebody is not um, just not gross body, what we see, and just become dead body because it's bad luck, you know. Uh, so we should with conviction know that we are spirit soul. We are a soul and we have a body. It's not that we have a soul and we are a body. It's the other way around. We are a spirit soul and we have a body. We currently may have a male body or a female body, or a we are in a child body, we are in a old person's body, but we are body. We are not this body, we have a body, and we are spirit soul. We presently have this body. In future we will have another body. So we are spirit soul, and once we know we are who we are, we can then function according to our identity. So Prabhupada writes further that this realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of the real self. One should be one should be situated in the fixed conception of the real self. One should understand with conviction that we are spirit soul, and then act according to that identity. Without attachment will come naturally, because if you consider yourself to be body, then everything connected with your body you become attached to. But when you are convinced that you are actually spirit soul and you are in this body for a temporary period, naturally it will create detachment in your heart. You'll be using things, but you will not be attached to those things. So this detachment automatically comes. We'll chant another verse. And this is the first verse spoken by Lord Krishna personally. And in the previous chapter 1, Krishna has not spoken a verse. There's no verse that. So in the 24th verse, I think Sanjay tells that he's asking, Krishna says, see all these people who have assembled here. But there's no Bhagavan Uvacha in the first chapter. So this is going to be the first verse that we are going to speak. We are going to chant. Again, they are all words spoken by Lord Krishna. Extremely powerful, extremely beautiful, and extremely meaningful. That these are Krishna's words ultimately. and they can reveal meaning. No matter if you read them 100 times, they can give you 100 meanings. They are though that kind of a potency exists in these words. So we'll chant this beautiful verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
Kutatva Kashmilam Idam
कुतस्त्वकश्मलमिदम्
कुतस्त्वकश्मलमिदम्
Kutatva Kashmilam
कुतस्त्वकश्मलमिदम्
Vishame Samupasthitam
विषमे समुपस्थितम्
Vishame Samupasthitam
विषमे समुपस्थितम्
Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam
अनार्याजुष्टम्
Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam
अनार्यजुष्टम् अस्वर्ग्यम्
Akirti Karam Arjuna
अकीर्तिकरम् अर्जुन
Akirti Karam Arjuna.
अकीर्तिकरम् अर्जुन
Thank you, everyone. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets but
ಇಟ್ಟು
to
ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ರೀ
infamy.
ಕೊಚ್ಚಿಡ್ರಿ ಆಡುವ ಇರ್ರಿ ಕೊಚ್ಚಿಡ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿ
Okay, so again, let's see Srila Prabhupada purport. Prabhupada writes at the beginning of this purport that Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is the ultimate in the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized in three phases of understanding, namely Brahman, or the impersonal, all pervasive spirit, Paramatma, or the localized aspect of Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. Prabhupada is, right at the beginning, giving three aspects of the absolute truth. The absolute truth is, and different people, according to their level of understanding, or in a progressive way, can understand the same absolute truth in three different ways. At the initial level, one can get understanding of a Brahman. It's called Brahman realization, and or impersonal, all-pervasive spirit. Brahman is a concept where the God is everywhere. God is everywhere, and God is all pervasive. Just like our soul is all pervasive, our body, it's there in each part of our body. No matter which part of the body we pinch, or we will experience pain because of the presence of the soul. Similarly, Krishna is present. The God is present everywhere, and because he's present everywhere, they cannot be put into a picture. This is Brahman, or all pervasive impersonal realization, is typically understood by the student at a very initial level. And the Christianity and the Islam actually propagate impersonal, all pervasive spirit as the ultimate truth, as the absolute truth. The difference between their philosophy and the Vedic philosophy is that Vedic philosophy actually progresses to Paramatma and Bhagavan realization stage, but their philosophy does not have any other information apart from the first stage, which is the initial stage. Because it's not that whatever they it's whatever is mentioned there is wrong, but it's not complete. It's not wrong, but it's not complete. And because the progress stops there, for them, they consider this to be the this. They consider this to be the ultimate. Sometimes it's said that good is the biggest biggest enemy of the best. Good, better, best. So if you consider good to be the best, you will never progress towards best. You will never accept anything other than anything higher also. Even if it is presented to you, you will not accept it because of your conviction that good is only the best. So good is sometimes can become the biggest enemy of the best, because you will get stuck at one place. So that's the reason why their philosophies are, the impersonal philosophy is not completely wrong, but it is incomplete philosophy. It is not the ultimate philosophy. It is not a progressive philosophy. Paramatma is a localized aspect of the supreme within the heart of all the living entities. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Sarvasya cha aham hridhi sannivishto. Hridhi is Hriday, and Sannivishto, I'm established in the heart of every living entity, all the living entities. Another beautiful verse in 18th chapter, 61st verse, Krishna says, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Ruddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. Ruddeshe is in the region of heart. I'm Tishtati, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you. I reside in the heart of all the living entities. 13th chapter, 23rd verse, Krishna says that Upadrashta Anumantacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. From the heart, what am I doing? I'm overseeing if all your desires and actions. And Anumanta, Upadrashta, overseeing. Anumanta, I'm permitting what should happen to you, what should not happen to you. Every result that you get is sanctioned by Krishna. So this is the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Bhagwan is the ultimate feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, Bhagwan, as Bhagwan, he is a person. As a person, he is present. He is present as a Brahman. He is all pervading. He is in the heart of all the living entities, and also he is personally present at a place where he is interacting with the other persons. So all the three realizations are accurate, but they are progressive. Brahman is initial, Paramatma is little advanced, and Bhagavan is the ultimate realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada gives an example in the purport to explain this point, and this is a very significantly important point, actually. And this will come repeatedly in Vedic study. A lot of confusion happens because people don't understand this point clearly. Prabhupada writes the purport further by giving an example of sun. um, these three divine aspects can be explained by the example of the sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies sunshine only is a preliminary student. One who understands that sun's surface is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Let's take example of, we all love to eat halwa. I love to eat halwa. Yesterday we had a temple program and halwa was there. I loved halwa. So let's suji halwa. All of you probably make sometime that suji halwa. Let's understand the same example using suji halwa. Okay. When suji halwa is, how do you make suji halwa? You take suji, rava, it is called in Maharashtra as rava, and you roast it on ghee. Put some ghee in the vessel, make it warm, and then you put rava and you roast it. Roast it till it becomes kind of pinkish. Roast it for some time. And when you roast that rava on ghee, it gives fragrance, a beautiful, nice fragrance. Your house is filled with fragrance. Sometimes, if you're living in a city like Mumbai, where the homes are very small, the fragrance can cross over to your neighbor's home also. Even they sitting in their homes can smell something nice getting cooked in your home, and maybe halwa from the smell they can make out. Intelligent ladies can easily make out what's getting cooked in my neighbor's home. So this is the fragrance of halwa is all pervading. I cannot click a picture of that fragrance because it's there everywhere. It's there. It's filled. My entire home is filled with that beautiful fragrance of of this rava getting roasted on the ghee, and the nice fragrance is filled the whole home. Now this is Brahman realization. When somebody in the home, then without even coming to the kitchen, they know probably halwa is getting cooked. When you put halwa becomes ready, the when the suji or the rava becomes properly roasted, you can put milk in it and sugar in it, milk, sugar in it, and you cook that halwa and it becomes nice again. That fragrance remains, but now the site is also available. Now if someone comes from the neighborhood and comes to your kitchen, they already have realization of fragrance. Now what they get is sight in the vessel. Now they can see that halwa being there, being getting cooked, nice color, nice, there are many aspects to food which are important. The color, the touch should be good. The color should be good. The fragrance should be good. And so the person get a sight has two realizations. One is fragrance and the sight of halwa. So he's advanced than the person who is only dealing with the fragrance of halwa being cooked. So they know that there is something called halwa, but they don't have vision of it yet. But the person who comes to the kitchen and see that halwa is advanced than the previous person. Because now he has something more. He has fragrance and knowledge of the sight. He has vision of as well, and he can describe that halwa, how is looking, what color it is, it's too dry, too wet, whatever. He can give a nice description of that halwa. And the But is this complete realization? No. Why? Because he still doesn't know whether how it tastes. So the person, when he takes a spoonful of halwa, offer it to Krishna, and then takes a spoonful of halwa and puts it into his mouth, he gets complete realization of that halwa. Basically, now he has fragrance, he has vision, the sight as well as the taste. He's exchanging rasa with that halwa. The halwa is sweet, maybe too sweet, maybe not so sweet, maybe just perfect, maybe could have been roasted for some more time. Now he has the complete realization of that same halwa, which other person only had a fragrance, the second person only had a fragrance plus sight, and the third person has complete realization of that halwa. Similarly, God can be understood in these three different ways. Same God is present everywhere. He's omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent. He's actually everywhere. He is inside every anu, and therefore he is everywhere. So to that extent, if one understand that God is all pervasive, he's present everywhere, you're right, then you cannot click a picture of him in that condition. But God is in our heart also. Yogis meditate on the Lord in Paramatma in their heart, and in that way they get a sight of that Lord. The Lord appears in front of their eyes, and they can get ultimate happiness by seeing that vision. But this is also a partial realization of the same absolute truth, the God. Why? Because you're not interacting with them. You're not, there is no, our relationship become fulfilled most when there is an interaction. There is a loving exchange that can happen. Paramatma in heart has more knowledge than just because Now he can describe the beauty of Lord, and he's just not saying that he's all pervasive, he's everywhere, but he's also in my heart, and this is how he looks. So he has more knowledge, he's more advanced, but he's still not had loving exchanges with that God. And Bhagwan realization is when those loving exchange also happens in different rasas. Rasas means nectar. In different ways I can interact with my God. I can become my I can become his friend. Arjuna was in a Sakhya ras with him. Radharani was in Madhurya ras with the same God. The God is same, God is everywhere. At the same time he is in your heart, and at the same time he can be playing with you. If you are in a Sakyaras as a as a Gopal, he can play with you. As a child, he can become naughty with you. He can do naughty activities for which you will feel like punishing him. So he can be in that rasa. He can do exchange of rasas with you as well, and that is the ultimate realization of the same God. That is like putting a spoonful of halwa into our mouth and realizing its taste completely. So complete understanding of God. So there is a progression. So Brahman is not wrong, but it's incomplete. Paramatma is more advanced than Brahman, but it's still not ultimate. And Bhagwan is ultimate. So this is how Prabhupada beautifully explains this important concept to all of us. Prabhupada writes further that the Sanskrit word Bhagwan is explained by the uh, the great authority Parashar Muni, the father of Vyasdev. How it is explained? The Supreme Personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. So this is a definition of Bhagavan. If anybody else wants to claim himself to be Bhagavan, must have all of this, and which is impossible. Prabhupada writes, uh, in the Brahma Samhita, by Lord Brahma has said that. Again, all of you can unmute. This is again beautiful verse. You all can chant, unmute and chant. A very famous verse. Let's chant. Ishvarah Paramah Krishnaha.
ईश्वरः परमः कृष्णः
Krishna,
Ishvarah Paramah Krishnaha.
ईश्वरः परमः कृष्णः
कृष्णः
Krishna,
Satchidananda Vigraha.
चिदानन्दविग्रह
विग्रह
Satchidananda
आनंद विग्रह
Vigraha.
सच्चिदानन्द
सच्चिदानन्दविग्रह
विग्रह
Vigraha,
Anadir Adir
धीर गोविंदा
Govindaha.
अनादिरादिर्
गोविंदा
गोविन्दः
Anadir Adir
धीर गोविंदा
Govindaha.
अनादिरादिर्
गोविंदा
गोविन्दः
Sarva Karana Karanam.
Sarvakaranam Karanam,
सर्वकारणकारणम्
Sarva Karana Karanam.
Sarvakaranam.
सर्वकारणकारणम्
Thank you, everyone. Beautiful verse. Comes in Brahma Samhita, verse 5.1, where Lord Brahma, after seeing Krishna, after Brahmaji is the first living entity that got created by Lord Krishna himself. Brahmaji appears on the lotus, which on the lotus flower, which originates from the navel of the Lord of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he sees Lord Krishna and he's describing his beauty, who Lord Krishna is. After getting sufficient knowledge, Lord Krishna, Brahma is actually glorifying Lord Krishna by these prayers, where he says, Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govindaha, Sarva Karana Karanam. Sarva Karana Karanam. This is the definition of God, who is the reason for everything, and for him there is no other reason. So Prabhupada writes the translation. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person, and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda, and the cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. Such beautiful definition. Sarva Karana Karanam. This is itself is gives us the definition of God. Krishna expresses his surprise. Now, Prabhupada brings us back to the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Krishna has already spoken. Kutatsva Kashmilam Midam Vishame Samupasthitam. Prabhupada bring us back to the battlefield. Prabhupada writes that Krishna expressed his surprise with the word kutaha, or where from. Such impurities were never expected from a person belonging to the civilized class of men known as Aryans. Now, Prabhupada will explain this word Aryan. Anarya Jushtam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. There are a lot of negative connotation use. Arya and Anaryam. Akirtikaram. Kirti and Akirti. Akirti is negative of Kirti, opposite of Kirti. Anarya is opposite of being Arya. Now, what do you mean by Arya? Arya, the word Arya is applicable to persons who knows the value of life and have a civilization based on spiritual realization. So Aryans are those who knows the value of life. What is the value of life? Value of life is to realize that we are spirit soul. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and our Father, and we belong to the spiritual world. We, by mistakenly, we have come in the material world, and having got human form of life, I should not waste it in sense gratification. I should rather cultivate self-realization and try and go back to my home, back to the spiritual world. So anybody who can understand this is considered to be the person who knows the value of life, who knows how valuable my life is. Why? Because I can now understand what highest benefit I can get out of living my life, fulfilling in the most fulfilling way. What is the highest benefit that I can derive by utilizing my life in the proper way? It's not that I end up, going from a two one room kitchen to a bungalow. Is that the highest use of my human life? No. Highest human highest use of my human life is possible when I end the cycle of repeated birth and death and go back to Krishna, to the spiritual world. That way, I will be able to utilize my life properly. Everything else is improper. If I fail to achieve this purpose, I can I then I will be forced to take birth again in the material world. Maybe if I partially attain this purpose, I may be born in the families of devotees, from where I will get opportunity to perform devotional service from early age. But nevertheless, I'll have to come back. And the best use of my human life is when I utilize it for going back to Krishna. Then I don't have to come back in the material world. So this is spiritual realization. This is understanding the value of life and having a civilization based on spiritual realization. Prabhupada write further, the persons who are led by the material conception. Now the opposite of this spiritual realization is material realization. Material realization is when we think we are body, and body is meant for sense enjoyment. So different, we are trying to provide different sensory objects, to our different senses. By our hands we are trying to touch soft nice things. By eyes we want to see beautiful form. By tongue we want to taste best of the cuisines available. By our nose we want to smell best of fragrance. That's why deodorant industry is booming. So by using every sense, we are trying to get some pleasure from the material world. So this is material conception of life. For us to be able to do that, we need to believe that we are this body, and we will get pleasure by by exploiting matter. And that's what called this is the opposite of the spiritual realization, is the material conception of life. Prabhupada, right? The persons who are led by the material conception of life do not know that the aim of life is realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagavan, and they are captivated by the external features of the material world, and therefore they do not know what liberation is. The last verse we'll study today, 2.3. Again, very significant verse. So we'll not again chant Bhagwan Vacha, we'll directly chant the verse and you can all follow. Klaibyam asmagamaha partha.
Devyam
Divyamasamagamaha Partha
Klaibyam asmagamaha partha.
Asmagamaha Partha
Netattvayupapadyate.
Netayupapadyate
Naitattvayupapadyate.
You
Netayupapadyate
Shudram hridaya draubalyam.
Shudram Hridaya Daurbalyam
Shudram hridaya draubalyam.
Shudram Hridaya Daurbalyam
Tyakto tishtha parantapa.
Parantapa
Tyakto tishtha parantapa.
Parantapa
Thank you, everyone. We'll go to the translation. Is, O son of Pratha, do not yield into this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Krishna said something very significant here. Klaibyam. Klaibyam is importance, and uh, this is a this is a big statement for a kshatriya who kshatriyas used to have many wives, and they used to be in a mode of passion, and they used to have many wives and many children, and that was permitted in the Vedic times, that particular time. So calling Arjuna with that kind of a statement, with that word "klaibyam," which was basically to remind him of the worst phase of his life when he actually became Kinnara. So the story goes as if in preparation of this for this Kurukshetra war, Arjuna actually went and spent few days there in the Svargaloka, and he was collecting different ayudha, different shastra and astra from different devatas. So while during his stay in the Svargaloka, Urvashi got attracted towards him, seeing his manly features. Urvashi was attracted towards him, and then when she approached him, he refused her, knowing her relationship with his grandfather, Shantanu Maharaj. So, so Arjuna saw her from from that point of view. So he said, I looked at you as in from as a mother, because you were associated with my great grandparents. So but Urvashi said, this is Svargaloka. Those are the rules applicable to material world. In the Svargaloka, those rules don't apply, so it does not matter. But Arjuna said, but I don't belong to this place. I come from material world, so it matters to me. So I cannot unite with you. And he refused Urvashi. And then becoming angry, she cursed Arjuna that you will become a Kinnara. You'll lose your manlyhood. You'll become a Kinnara. And by Indra's intervention, this curse was reduced to 1 year period. And that is how, when Agyatvas was to happen after Vanvas, after 13 years of Vanvas, 1 year of Agyatvas was to happen, everyone was, this Tejasvi Pandavas, where will they hide? How can they not be traced? Anybody who see Arjuna, how will you hide his stage? So this curse was utilized in that 1 year period when he actually became a kinnar, and he became dance teacher for Uttara. So Uttara was Rajakanya, was a princess of Virat Raj, was his daughter, and he had verified whether Arjuna is actually not a man and actually is a kinnar, and then he accepted him as her don, and then he deputed him as her dance teacher for Uttara. So for a glorious Kshatriya like Arjuna, this was the lowest point of his life when he knew that he had lost his manlyhood, he's lost his potency. And Krishna is reminding him of that worst period of his life, seeing him refusing to fight the most important battle of that time. Kurukshetra battle was not ordinary war. The whole of Earth's population was had assembled there practically to fight this battle. So the most important battle, and the most, it's a dharma kshetra, Kurukshetra. Uh, so Arjuna was refusing to fight that battle, and without Arjuna, this battle could not have proceeded further. So Krishna is actually reminding him of, you again, have you again become that, O Arjuna? Have you, do you remember how you were in that 1 year period? Uh, have you become that? How can you refuse to fight? That's the kind of a angry pep talk Krishna has given to Arjuna. Prabhupada writes in the purport, the Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Krishna is scolding Arjuna out of love. Krishna is scolding Arjuna out of love. Let's discuss more about this aspect. We are trying to learn Bhagavad Gita. Okay, we are trying to learn Bhagavad Gita and practice according to its instructions. Uh, Now, in the course of this journey, if we are getting corrections from our teachers in the course of this journey, if we are getting some corrections from our teachers, what it indicates? You can raise hands and we can have a quick discussion. What it indicates? Who will get corrections? What it indicates really? If we are getting corrections, what does it indicate to us? Somebody else can raise hand, can think about it and raise hand. Sushil Nayak Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Getting corrections from a teacher, it indicates that we are getting mandate. We are doing something which is not acceptable by the teacher, and he wants to make us to correct path.
Okay. Okay.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much, Ajay. Hare Krishna. Dipesh Patil.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Getting
Krishna.
corrected in one sense, like we are going astray. The path is straight, but we are going astray. So teacher will align us that you should go this direct way. So
Okay.
for our benefit only, he is correct.
Okay. So for our benefit only, he is trying to give us corrections. Yes. Hemant Prabhuji and then Kanchan Mataji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम
Hare Krishna.
प्रभु जी if we are getting correction from our teacher it indicates that we have a areas of improvement we must improvement some areas where our teacher is corrected us.
And so who will basically get correction is the one who is trying to do something according to the instructions. Correct? Kanchan Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So I think that we have a particular goal with which we are working out. Like if we are studying in a class, so supposedly we are in graduation. So our goal is to become graduate. And if we are studying and teacher is teaching us, and if we are not applying the basic principles of maybe say accounting, so she might correct us. No, here you are wrong. The purpose is that we should achieve our goal, we should become better while achieving that goal, and we should have a perfect knowledge of that so that we can experience and we can realize what actually it is.
Okay, yeah.
Hare
The
Krishna.
second question, how should we respond? When we get corrections, how should we respond? Yes, Agni Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Uh, when we get corrected or when we get the instruction from our teachers, we should respond it with respect, and we should realize that he is our great guide who is helping us to navigate our journey towards the ultimate or towards the goal, whatever it is there. And he is he is our well wisher. We should accept this, that he is we totally submit ourselves, and we totally have the full faith on him, that whatever he is telling us or the guru is telling us, it's the correct one, and we should go through that, because we don't have that much knowledge about the path and about the goals where we're going. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. It's very nice. More interesting question is this. If you are not getting any corrections, what does that indicate? Lakshmi, Lakshmi Mataji, and then Subhash Sharma.
एक्चुअली गुरु का अर्थ तो होता है जो हम लोगों को तो ज्ञान सिखाने के लिए, तो क्योंकि हम लोग अंधकार में रहते हैं, अज्ञान के अंधकार में, सो हम लोग को गुरु ज्ञान की लाइट में लेकर जाता है। इसलिए गुरु जो भी बोलते हैं या नहीं तो हम लोग को करेक्ट करते हैं, तो हम उनको तो उन आदर भाव से एक्सेप्ट करना चाहिए उसका। तो
Correct.
बाय चांस गुरु कभी हम लोगों को तो नहीं बताते हैं, तो हम लोग ये भी मान के चलना चाहिए वो परंपरा का गुरु से तो नहीं आया हुआ, इसलिए उनको उतना पता नहीं है।
Okay.
ये मेरा सच है, ये है कुछ।
Okay, that's one view. Okay, maybe Guru doesn't know. Subhash Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My view for anything like to implementation is understanding is there, awareness, acceptance, understanding and implementation. उसमें कहीं कमी हो सकती है, एक गुरु की तरफ से नहीं शिष्य की तरफ से ज्यादा होता है यूजुअली, तो उसमें फिर फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म से वो अब बता सकते हैं गुरु को जो भी डिफिकल्टी हो रही है, वो रिजल्ट नहीं आ रहा है, तो एंड दीज आर द, जैसे माता जी वो बोल रही थी, these are many goals actually in life what we want to achieve. There is a higher purpose and there are many goals also, like we want to achieve some success in smaller things and all that. तो उसमें फीडबैक देने से देन अगेन जो भी गाइडेंस होगा होल हार्टेडली एक्सेप्ट करना है, राइटली इंप्लीमेंट करना है, आई थिंक देन रिजल्ट विल कम। एंड सरेंडर टू, जैसे गॉड होता है, सरेंडर टू गुरु, जैसे माता जी बोल रहे थे गुरु, गुरु मतलब गु मतलब अंधकार, रू मतलब प्रकाश, तो अंधकार की तरफ से प्रकाश की तरफ जा रहे हैं, तो बोलते हैं तमसो माँ ज्योतिर्गम है, वो गुरु का कार्य होता है, तो हमको उस तरफ जाने के लिए तैयार होना चाहिए और कार्य भी करना चाहिए। धन्यवाद प्रभु।
धन्यवाद प्रभु जी, थैंक यू सो मच। राधा माता जी।
यस प्रभु जी, अगर करेक्शंस नहीं आ रहे तो उसमें दोनों तरफ से सोचने की जरूरत है। या तो फिर जैसे माता जी ने बोला कि गुरु के पास नॉलेज नहीं है, या तो फिर ये भी हो सकता है कि करेक्शन दे रहे हैं उनके इंडिकेशंस या उनका जो थॉट प्रोसेस है वो हम अंडरस्टैंड नहीं कर रहे हैं या उस हिसाब से हम बर्ताव नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो शायद उसी की वजह से भी करेक्शन आने बंद हो जाए। तो हमें दोनों तरफ से सोचना चाहिए।
ओके, दोनों तरफ से सोचना चाहिए। कांचन माता जी, व्हाट्स योर थिंग? And then Madhu.
See, Prabhuji, as said by Mataji earlier, it's a matter of realizing why the teacher is not correcting. One can be because we are not accepting that whatever she or he says and guides us. Secondly, is we are already so engrossed with our ego, with our pride, with our bad habits that we are not ready to accept it. Secondly, if he or she has corrected and we have not implemented lot many numbers of times, and he or she has been tired of asking for the implications, but we are not understanding. So they might say that okay, leave it to destiny. Let them learn on their own. Let them burn the hands and then get it through.
Okay.
Correct. No?
Hare Krishna. Vikas Vaji. Yeah, anybody want to say something? Or Vikas Vaji, I'll ask.
Yeah, actually, this is Shubhadeep. I
Yes,
want to
Shubhadeep.
come in, Prabhuji. I think one essential ingredient is total surrender to the Guru, without which the Guru will not be able to perform the necessary changes in us, to our consciousness, to our everything. So until and unless we have that Saranagati with the Guru, that correction will not come through. It means that we are lacking somewhere, and we need to delve deeper into that. And Guru and God are giving that opportunity to us to reflect and take to handhold. But until and unless we completely surrender to them, we will not be able to correct ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, very nice point. Thank you so much. Vikas Prabhuji, you have your hand raised.
Hare Krishna Guruji, Dandavat Pranam. So, if we begin with the first one itself, that getting correction is the exhibition of extreme affection of a guru towards his disciple. Because otherwise, if that is not there, then it will be the usual course of relationship. And if we are getting correction, the guru is extremely interested in our own perfection. And then when we can see this viewpoint of our spiritual master, then our response becomes submissive automatically, and we want to approach him in a manner that you want this to be done by me, but I am not able to do it. So you can please kindly guide me more appropriately in such a manner that I can implement your instructions in a more deeper manner. And if we are not getting any corrections, that means we have kept ourselves aloof of following the instructions that our spiritual master is trying to teach us. And then the affection although the affection of spiritual master always remains, he always remains worried about, but we are keeping ourselves like we are turning away from Krishna. So similarly, we are also turning away from the instructions of our spiritual master, and that is why we are not getting any corrections. Hare Krishna.
So not getting correction should be a matter of worry for a disciple or for a student. And how should he respond?
He should actually respond that yes, which it should be worry for the student only. Means spiritual master is always trying to actually uplift him, and it should be worried that ultimately, since no corrections are coming to me, that means I am not coming up to that standard to which my spiritual wants to be on, and I need to work upon myself. And again, I should seek more instructions from Guru that how I can come to this standard where you want me to set in. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Madhu Mataji, want to
Hmm.
say something? Last comment. And Adni.
Yeah, Prabhuji. I just wanted to say that Shishyas doesn't, like I came to know that Shishyas doesn't go for Guru. Guru chooses the Shishyas. So it's always like he's observing us until we are ready. He'll not coming to us. So we'll have to, maybe that is also kind of testing whether how patiently we are waiting for his guidance. So that's what I feel.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, hello.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Amarnath.
Hare Krishna. No. See, we should realize that if Guru corrects the Sishya, it is only because of the love he has with Sishya. Then only he will correct. First, that should be understood. And if he is not correcting, one possibility is the ego is not given up by the Sishya. So, till the ego is given up, Guru may not correct him, may not attend. So, as many people said, surrender is important. And we should know that because of the love Guru has against Shishya, then only that is why he is correcting.
Okay, thank you so much, Roji. Very nice comment.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Last comment, yes. Agni, brother.
Prabhuji, if we are not getting any correction, it indicates, in my point of view, is that we are not progressing on that path. And so, because as there is an analogy of a ship in the court in the dockyard, and it's not going onto the sea, so it is not getting the challenges or the mistakes he is not doing. It is always there in the dockyard, safe and secure. But if it is not if it is going outside, and then he is going to meet the challenges or the questions will arise. So there is corrections always there will corrections because if he is studying those things, or if he is doing the stuff or doing the activities instructed by the guru, then only there will be some errors, and human errors will be there, and then the guru will correct it. So this is my point of view. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Roji. So I think a lot of you summarized it very well. Here we see Krishna is actually scolding Arjuna, giving correction to Arjuna. And we try to correlate that with our situation. If we, because when we will also try to study Bhagavad Gita, we will be, the studying Bhagavad Gita itself is a theory, but there is also practical. And we will make mistakes. We will make mistakes in terms of following four regulative principles. Could be studying regularly Bhagavad Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita regularly, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. All of those instructions will come, and those teachers will reciprocate with student in the with the intensity with which the student respond. It will be a reciprocal relationship. In school also, those students who are very inquisitive, very energetic, very enthusiastic, get more attention from the teacher. They Because they have their responsiveness, teacher take more interest in them very naturally. And while they try out newer things, they make many mistakes and they get a lot of corrections. In the process, they learn faster than other students who are laid back, who are doing just bare minimum. Teacher is equal to all, but teacher will be reciprocal to those who show more interest. Similarly, guru will be reciprocal to those who are trying to put those instructions into actions as and when they are given. Because when they do that, they will obviously make some mistakes and they will immediately get correction. So if you are not receiving correction, if you're not getting any corrections for some time or for long time, we should definitely question ourselves, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing, or am I perfect? Nobody is perfect, no one is perfect. So is my guru become bereft of his knowledge? Is my guru wrong, or I know more than my guru? What is my condition? Where do I stand? And in most often situation, it will be the case where we are lacking actually the application of the instructions given by guru. We are lacking in those applying those instructions, and hence, because seeing our lethargy, maybe guru is reciprocating with others who are more enthusiastic in implementing those instructions. So it's my loss. It's a lose-lose situation where we stop getting correction is definitely a red flag for all of us, where we should be concerned. Why am I not getting? Am I not trying enough? Or is it because if corrections or appreciations, whatever, there should always be feedback coming from my guru, from my teachers, which will indicate that I'm on right course. Otherwise, I'm definitely lost my course, and hence we need to wake up, and we should definitely go back to our guru and our teachers and seek guidance, seek their mercy. And in that submissive mood only we can progress. So thank you so much. We'll summarize. We discussed today first three verses of chapter 2, chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The knowledge of content of Bhagavad Gita summarized. It is better to be on the side of Krishna, no matter how much opulent, powerful, intelligent, and attractive the other side might appear to be. Krishna is Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we must accept this fact, at least in theory, to understand anything from Bhagavad Gita and benefit from it. When Krishna directly take test, it can be very difficult, and he can hit where it hurt most. So the test, to test our knowledge and determination to practice devotional service, we should be prepared. And those tests, those situations will come in our life, and we should be prepared for those tests, and we should believe in the mercy of Krishna, merciful nature of Krishna and Guru and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and without any fear we should be determined to serve Krishna in every situation. That is how we can overcome such test. Hence, that is possible when we remain under guidance of devotees to learn Bhagavad Gita and practice devotional service in our life. So this way, we concluded first three verses of Bhagavad Gita, and we will proceed with the seventh verse, where Arjuna is going to surrender to Krishna, and Krishna is now officially going to assume role of a spiritual master and teacher, and start giving instructions to Arjuna from the 11th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. We'll cover that in our coming sessions on Sundays. So please keep joining these sessions. We've started circulating the link to the Japa session every day. We post that link to in our group. The mantra meditation is our opportunity to associate with Lord Krishna. Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. So Krishna is not different than his name. And because he is omnipotent, he can manifest through his name as well. So when we learn Bhagavad Gita, when we understand about Krishna's position, understand his greatness, and in that understood in that with that understanding, when we chant his name respectfully, with lovingly, we are able to invoke his presence in our heart. And when Krishna manifests in our heart through japa, through mantra meditation, he can drive away the darkness of anarthas, the unwanted desires, the lust, the anger, the greed, the depression, the other problems that all we face. He can drive away those, just like when sun rises, the darkness goes away. Similarly, Krishna manifests in our heart, all these anarthas can go away very quickly. And then the the Krishna is all bliss. Krishna is all blissful. So the heart will be filled with spiritual happiness. And that is practical realization application of that is how we will practically realize the teachings from Bhagavad Gita. When we practice mantra meditation in the morning hours especially, we can realize the Bhagavad Gita is going to talk about its 2.59th verse, rasopyasya raso that higher taste. When you get higher taste, you are able to give up lower taste. What that higher taste means is can be realized through mantra meditation very, very easily. So please continue joining all sessions, and as we conduct, as we share the details with all of you, and that way remain Krishna conscious every day, every moment, and we will meet next Sunday with the subsequent chapter from subsequent verses from Bhagavad Gita. Till then, thank you so much, everyone. We'll wait. We have ended this session. We can those devotees who want to leave, they can leave. But if anybody has any question, we can discuss those questions now for rest of the period. But otherwise, the class can be considered as over. If there are no questions, we can conclude today's class. So Vikas Project has posted a link to the feedback session based on today's session. So everyone is requested to kindly go through that and fill your details and post your questions there also. I have covered all questions which were asked until last Sunday. Hope no other questions have remained unanswered. If there are any, please send me a message. I can respond to that. But I have completed answering all the questions. So if you have any further questions from today's session, feel free to feel free to mention those in the today's feedback form, and we can try and get back to you as early as possible. So we'll just wait for somebody to have question, if at all, or else we can conclude today's session.
Yes, Prabhuji, I had a question.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, so what is the actual takeaway from today's session? Like, how do we relate it to our daily life from today's session? What
So
do we
from
learn from it? Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
So today, basically, we discussed about these three verses, the first three verses of Bhagavad Gita, and where we see that the biggest takeaway for me is devotee association. If you're not getting corrections, you should double check if you're doing right thing at all.
Yes.
And
Okay.
that is the biggest takeaway. Supreme Personality of Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we spend considerable time discussing that. That can also be a biggest reminder to us that indeed, if we are following Krishna consciousness, we need not really do anything else. This can serve all purposes. So these two takeaways, even if we can take, that will be very nice.
Yes, Prabhuji, amazing. Yes, and today's session was superb, amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Sanjeev Prabhuji, you have a question?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a wonderful session. Prabhuji, the two most important aspects of devotional service that are considered are hearing and chanting, hearing or reading and chanting. And Prabhupada ji specifies that one must chant at least a minimum of 16 rounds daily. So could you please explain the significance of this 16 rounds? Why minimum 16 rounds? And what is the right balance that can be struck between hearing and chanting? I mean, what if one is perhaps hearing and reading more and chanting less, or vice versa? What's the right kind of balance that should be, struck between the two? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Praji, for the wonderful question. So, so hearing, it all starts with hearing, and Adho Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha, and in the Sadhu Sangha we will hear. We all have basic Shraddha. We all have basic understanding that we are not in control. As a human beings, we have very little control over things. What happens in my life, what happens to me, uh, we have very little control, and it's not very difficult to perceive this aspect that someone else is in control. So this is how we accept the authority of God. The concept of God, we become convinced of the fact that there is a concept of God. Now, who that God can be, multiple people. If you speak to 100 people, they will give 100 different conceptions of God. But fundamental understanding that there is a higher authority who is in control itself is bare minimum required thing to have possess. With this, when we start inquiring and we meet devotees, the our process begins only by hearing. And hearing, this is how it all starts. So everything starts with hearing, and hearing Krishna Katha, hearing philosophy of Bhagavad Gita gives us understanding of how great Krishna is and how loving Krishna is. We say it's his greatness and his sweetness. Both are revealed to us through the study of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita doesn't start with the faith, concept of faith. Faith comes sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja is not the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. It's the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita. It all starts logical by logical contemplation. The second chapter is all Sankhya. Sankhya is a is a sankhya, is accounting, is a number, is all logic. And strong logically we can understand chapter 2 entirely, how we are not this body, we are spirit soul, how we cannot chase our desires at a bodily level, and how regulation will help me actually. So this is how the whatever the marketers may tell me, but unlimited, unregulated sense gratification can only lead me to trouble. So I must regulate my senses. I must not deprive my senses. I don't have to become hungry, remain hungry, but I have to regulate my eating. I have to regulate my sleeping. I have to regulate my mating. I have to regulate my other everything else. Whatever I do, if I live life in an unregulated way, I only will land myself in trouble. So this is where the Shravanam becomes so this is where the Bhagavad Gita progresses, and then it Bhagavad Gita um, reveals the personal aspect of Lord, which explains about his greatness and followed by the sweetness. So when we hear about Lord, and then we become more inquisitive about how do I realize God in my personal life. This is what is the theory, how I get a practical experience of God, and that happens through chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As we said, when we understand Bhagavad Gita, and in that mood, when we sit down to chant in the early hours of morning, and we chant as Prabhupada has guided us, we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we try to hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and in the peaceful hours of my morning, when we have had good sufficient 6 7 hours of sleep, our heart is relatively calm, free from all emotions, hopefully from the previous day, and it's in the clear state we chant Krishna's name, and Krishna can in a submissive, humble, submissive mood, and we pray to Krishna to manifest in our words, in our hearts, in our heart, and Krishna does that. Seeing our sincere mood, he can manifest in our heart. So and then our heart can get filled with joy, filled with spiritual happiness. Now this is a practical application of our learnings from Bhagavad Gita. So we learn here this is possible, and we actually experience that under by taking japa, by doing japa, mantra meditation. It's the most powerful, easy, simple, free of cost way of realizing God. And one thing fuels the other. The more you're convinced about Krishna's greatness and Krishna's sweetness, more you are attached to the hearing of Krishna Katha, more you will be attached to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And it's the other way around, because you are getting so much joy in chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, singing kirtan, dancing in kirtans. You're getting so much joy of that person, that whose name you are chanting, you want to know more about that person. And so one thing fuels the other, and the first thing fuels the other second, and second thing fuels the first. And that way, both go hand in hand. And together, Shravanam Kirtanam gives us Vishnu Smaranam. So this is how we have to progress. How and how quantitatively, how can we balance these two things can depend on the circumstances of each person. No one is depends on our nature of our job, nature of our city where we live in, the kind of hectic lifetime currently we might have had created for ourselves, the kind of responsibilities that we all might be having, the home loans to clear, the car loan to clear, the education loans to pay, and whatever we might have in our plate as of now, we will have to deal with those. These things we created for ourselves, they don't disappear overnight. So just because we have started studying Bhagavad Gita and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, these material problems don't go away. We just have to still figure out a way to deal with those as well. And so start with something, and build on that. Don't fall below that. Build on that as you progress. Keep yourself at least half an hour for reading and half an hour for japa, if to start with, and then build on that. Then go up to 16 rounds, and then good 1 hour 2 hours of reading. That can be a very good balance. But as we say, we don't have to do that on day zero. We can, but do it progressively. Do it and build on that. Then then have that as a benchmark and then go beyond that. That's how we progress. Prabhupada used to say that my Guru Maharaj used to say 64 rounds everyone must chant, but I'm telling him, but I have reduced it to 16, nothing below that. Um, uh, we have to remember that tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. It's not so much about counting. It's not so much about counting. It's about sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Yudhyacha is Arjuna. This comes in the 7th verse of 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says that tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Uh, Perform your prescribed duty, always remembering me always. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara. Every time, all the time, you should remember me. Why? Because then, if you remember me all your life, you will be able to remember me at the time of your death. Antakalecha mam evam smaran muktva kalevaram. If you leave your body remembering me alone, you will go back to me. You will come back to me. And in order to do that, you should remember me throughout your day. So it's not more so much of a accounting issue that did you chant 16 rounds. It's a developing of a consciousness where we practically remember Krishna all the time. And so this is the direction that we need to go towards. And so to facilitate that, the 16 rounds will definitely help. 16 rounds chanted in the early morning hours will prepare our consciousness, where even if we are selling cars to customers, even if we are finalizing balance sheets in office, even if we are or as a sitting in audit meetings with auditors, we will never forget Krishna. We will never forget Krishna. We will understand and see and perceive things from the Krishna consciousness point of view, from the Bhagavad Gita perspective, always, and we will never forget Krishna. So this will that the good hearing and good chanting will facilitate our constant remembrance of Krishna, which is the ultimate aim. Okay, Guruji?
Thank you, Prabhu. So effectively, I mean, that 16 rounds minimum, which Prabhupada ji specified, that's not a necessity. I mean, can we understand it like that?
One should achieve that target. It's not a necessity maybe on day zero, but one should have a target. You need a target, right? When we say that I always remember Krishna, but I'm not able to chant my 16 round in a day, may not fit. If you are committed to Krishna, why you cannot chant 16 rounds if that's been prescribed by acharyas? So on day zero, we may not have that, need not take that as a target, but progressively we should attain that target. There are many devotees who chant 20 rounds, 25 rounds, 28 rounds. So we may not go beyond that, but if that has been kept as a minimum threshold, we should have a desire and a goal, certain time frame within which we can go to that, achieve that target as well. And we may not go beyond that, but at least if that has been prescribed by our guru, our acharyas as bare minimum, we should try to attain that. So uh, we should attain that. And as I said, 2 hours of chanting can complete 16 rounds, and 2 hours of reading. If we can do this 4 hours of investment in Krishna consciousness, it can give us very good, very good. It can be very good if we can do that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
I have one question.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, in the 3 hours when we are doing work in the office, we will chant without the beats. Is it okay?
Yes, Mataji. So okay, we even if but that should be in over and above our japa with beads. Ideally beads are important. Chanting on bead is important, but we should, but we should utilize, if for example if you are traveling and if there is nothing else to do, we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's also That it will be nice utilization of our free time. Otherwise, which will end up gossiping or talking something nonsense, or or just by doing nothing. Might as well utilize that for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's perfectly all right. But it should be over and above our time which we utilize for chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra on beats. Okay?
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
thank you, Mataji. Yes, Jigna Mataji and Madhu Mataji. Yes.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I think mostly everything is summarized. I just wanted to give one comment about how many rounds. Actually, just giving a silly example like marathon. We have something like a dream run, and from dream run, you progress to half a marathon, which is 21 kilometers, like 7 kilometers, 21 kilometers, and eventually 42 kilometers. I think the 16 round kind of correlates with that kind of. You can't straight away leap to 42 kilometers. You have to go by practicing initially, conditioning yourself, and then so I think the 16 rounds is like a target to condition yourself and then eventually progress. And another thing what Mataji was saying was about beads. I think if we don't have, then I personally use a counter. You get those tiny counters and you can put it in the finger also, which is a very small, it's available in the temple also. So I think that also can be used, for chanting purpose. I do that.
Yeah, many devotees do that. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, Madhu, you have a question?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hello.
Yes, Madhu, you can speak.
Prabhuji. I just wanted, I had it like along with Hare Krishna Japa, like we can do our Kula Devata Japa as well.
Just hold on. Yes. If we do Hare Krishna Mahamantra Japa, as Prabhupada has often said many times, he said that there's no need to do any other japa. It's like if you water the roots, there's no need to, pour water on other parts of the body. When you supply food to the stomach, all parts of our body get nourished. So similarly, when you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all other devatas get satisfied. Krishna will reveal in the Bhagavad Gita later that he is sitting inside our heart as Paramatma, and he's observing, he's traveling with us from one body to another body. We may be born in a particular kula for this lifetime, but not that every lifetime we were belonging to this kula. So next kula, next birth, we can in our next body we could go to some other body and some other religion and some other kula. So everything, all of these are connected with our temporary presence, temporary body. So everything which is connected with that body will have a secondary
बस
drop.
कर
So if you're chanting a Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no particular need for you to chant any other mantra or for any other goddess or any other devata. Hmm? Yes, Rina Mataji, you have a question? Yeah. Okay, Mataji. Madhu Mataji. Okay. So I'll just go to the chat. Yeah, there are no other questions, so we can conclude today's session. Thank you everyone for joining, and we'll meet next Sunday with the subsequent verses of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you so much for joining. Jagannath Bhadra Subhadra Mai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Hari Bol. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Yes,
Krishna.
because I
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank